Exactly 2 years since Montreal at Survivor Series 97, Bret Hart walked out of Canada with a world title belt again after beating Chris Benoit in the final of the Mayhem pay-per-view in front of an hometown crowd in Toronto, saying that it's been a long 2 years and he's gonna be the best champion WCW has ever had, while setting up the Starrcade main event with him challenging Goldberg for a title match at the event, before being confronted by the Outsiders with Hall mocking Bret's speech telling him that nobody gets to the top in WCW before they go through them, as they're the ones who took the company to the top of the business, followed by Nash challenging Bret and Goldberg for a tag match in the main event, with Bret agreeing before being attacked by Jeff Jarrett to set up the top 2 matches for later tonight. After announcing the Outsiders Goldberg tag match, Bret Hart challenged Jeff Jarrett for a match promoted to start at the top of the hour when Raw goes on the air, with Goldberg instead hyping a mystery partner to be revealed in the main event, with 3 more angles during the first hour, seeing Lex Luger asking Russo to book Liz in a match against Meng and her locking herself in a cage, Kidman seeing Eddie and Tori in the locker room to set up an in-house Filthy Animals match, and Fit Finlay returning during a Norman Smiley Hardcore Open challenge after months out with a career-threatening leg injury. After being covered in high-profile publications like Entertainment Weekly since the jump to WCW, Vince Russo did another high-profile interview during the week with the New York Times, talking about what the audience want to see since the explosion of the boom period, with personality and storylines being the key to the peaking viewership along with an aggressive reality-based product, and how him and Ferraro write for each character based on realism, while also commenting on the backlash from parts of the audience for the Oklahoma JR parody last Monday, saying that it's only done for entertainment, and the Oklahoma segment was the highest rated quarter on the show last week. Hart and Jarrett made their entrances seconds after 9 p.m. to open the crossover segment with the title match along with the hook of a mystery man in the limousine, going 9 minutes with Bret retaining after Dustin Rhodes' interference to open Nitro stronger than usual, maintaining almost the entire unopposed audience with a 3.5 rating against Raw's 4.8, the closest opening margin since July. After a show-long angle 4 days ago on SmackDown that saw DX attacking the McMahons to end with Triple H luring Vince to the ring and attacking Shane Test and Stephanie, Raw opened with Shane Patterson and Briscoe looking for Vince all over the building, with Raw starting with a tag match of Mankind and Snow against the Hollies, with Bob Holly bringing the Snow action figure that was banned from all major markets due to the separate head saying that he hurt his merchandise sales, with DX shown inside a limousine on the way to the Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo, with Vince found in a car outside waiting for their arrival. After starting stronger than usual with the Hart vs. Jarrett match, Nitro saw a massive turnover of viewers to Raw, with the show dropping from a quarter-high 3.5 rating to a show low 2.7, featuring the Eddie vs. Kidman match set up earlier going 5 minutes with the possible split of the Filthy Animals, with Raw going in the opposite direction after opening lower than usual, jumping big with over 1.3 million viewers to a 5.9 rating. As in his second week on Raw, Kurt Angle in a match against Mark Henry built as the Battle of the Olympians, with both part of the '96 event, was again involved in the joint highest rated quarter, followed by one of the big angles of the night right after it, with Vince McMahon smashing the DX limousine when arriving to the building in the parking lot, before going after them to the locker room to start Raw's main show long angle. WCW rebounded from the show low rating, jumping over 700,000 viewers back to a 3.3 rating for the Luger-booked Liz vs. Meng match, carrying Liz on a forklift to the ring before Sting made the save, along with a Disco vs. LaRue match in the same quarter, while Raw had two matches in the next 15 minutes, first with Jericho vs. Godfather and then Edge and Christian against the Dudleys. While in the middle, Vince was arrested for the car attack before being attacked by Triple H on the way to the police station. Meanwhile, with Vince pushing Hunter to fill the void and Foley delaying his retirement for a few more months, reports came out on Steve Austin getting several tests on his neck to end any hope of him working the planned WrestleMania 16 main event as a heel against Rock, with his future in-ring career in general in question. Nitro stayed steady with a 3.3 rating to close out the first opposed hour, with a Nitro Girls match along with Curt Hennig coming out for a farewell promo after being forced to retire by the powers that be, with him losing to Bagwell last night, while at the same time Raw jumped back to a peak 5.9 rating, which ended up the most watched quarter of the night, starting with the promoted Rock interview being interrupted by Foley and Snow, with Rock revealing that he didn't throw Foley's book in the garbage before cutting a promo on Snow to set up the return of the Rock and Sock connection, along with Vince getting into the Buffalo police station and a Jeff Hardy vs. X-Pac match. One of the most talked about segments of the night opened Nitro's third hour, as after hyping who was in the limousine for the past hour, Roddy Piper made his TV return, cutting a promo on the new creative team saying that WCW don't need writers, talking about the younger wrestlers complaining to him before his microphone cut off by the powers that be, leading to him walking backstage to set up a Piper-Russo confrontation, with Piper asking Russo if he's the one ruining the business he made in the last 30 years, telling Russo that he can take him down and can't be pushed around as he doesn't need the job, with Russo responding telling Piper that he might have a few B movies to his credit, but he's pushing 50 with one hip and should go join Flair and Hogan in the retirement home in Florida, closing the segment with Piper telling Russo that he still has a 2-year contract and Russo making him a referee, with the Piper-Russo segment jumping to over a 3.5 rating in the most watched quarter of the night. Raw's top-of-the-hour quarter opened with a different formatting than usual, with two skits, first with Mae Young getting drunk and Stephanie's wedding party, and Vince taking a mugshot at the police station, followed by Big Show coming out for a WWF title open challenge, ending up with Kane taking it with the Show vs. Kane title match going 3 minutes until Viscera's interference to open the second hour with a 5.6 rating. After retiring less than an hour earlier, Curt Hennig returned to the ring during a Booker vs. Bagwell match to turn heel and join the powers that be alongside Creative Control. With WCW's Mayhem pay-per-view coming from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, the WWF countered it by booking a house show in the same city a day earlier, with WCW drawing 14,000 people to the building, while the WWF for the live event headlined by a Rock vs. Bossman match, drawing nearly 20,000 people for the Toronto Sky Dome. Triple H was out next on Raw, saying that McMahon's car attack earlier proved that he ran over Austin while challenging him again for a match at the Armageddon pay-per-view, bringing out Shane to officially set it up after getting a phone call from Vince in jail, while booking Hunter in a handicap match against the Acolytes to start a brawl, with the segment bumping Raw back to a 5.9 rating. Nitro had a Benoit vs Malenko flag match next, with the unique dynamic of babyface Benoit fighting for the Canadian flag in front of the American audience, ending with Bret interfering and raising both flags to turn the crowd. With the WWF sponsors issues catching fire in the last few weeks, with the company's return to network television with SmackDown due to the PTC organization trying to censor the product, noting that millions of kids watch the two main WWF shows on a weekly basis, which led to major advertisers like Coca-Cola pulling out. JR during the Too Cool vs Bulldog and Venis tag match, which saw Rikishi making his TV return in a new character to officially start the new Too Cool run, acknowledged the situation on air, telling viewers to send letters to the companies in support of the WWF against the desperate attempt by the council to censor the content. WCW opened its final quarter with a Sting vs Meng no DQ match going 3 minutes, ending with Meng going over after Luger's interference, with the Outsiders vs Goldberg tag entrances taking place minutes later at 10:53 p.m., revealing Goldberg's partner to be Seed after they closed out their program last night in an I Quit match, starting the match crossing into the overrun, with the quarter climbing over 500,000 viewers to a 3.4 rating. Bossman and Albert open Draw's final quarter, followed by Rock with no mystery partner, saying that as usual he teams up with the people, going 3 minutes in a handicap match before Mankind walked out for the Save for the Rock and Sock Connection reunion, with plans changing after the last 2 weeks, with Rock being occupied with side programs until the Royal Rumble pay-per-view to start the build-up to WrestleMania, and Mick Foley continuing his run as a babyface after at one point the plan was for Foley to turn heel on Rock to set up his retirement match, followed by Vince being released from jail in time to get back to the building, with the Triple H handicap match coming up next, crossing over 11 p.m. Nitro went 6 minutes in the overrun for the majority of the Goldberg and Seed vs Outsiders tag match, bumping the show over 1.1 million viewers in total to a 4 rating, Nitro's highest rated main event in almost 3 months, while at the same time taking Raw down from a 5.2 to a 4.7 in the direct turnover of viewers, resulting in almost a half rating point difference, with a 4 to 4.7 rating gap between the shows, the closest margin since the WWF pulled away in April '99, with Nitro overall jumping to its second highest rating in months with a 3.4. Raw's Triple H vs Acolytes handicap match going against the Big Star Power WCW tag saw the overrun dropping to a shallow 4.7 rating, resulting in it being the lowest rated main event on a Raw broadcast in over a year, ending up with Vince returning to throw Hunter off the stage to a big reaction in the build-up to their pay-per-view match.